You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just living a life that was never meant for you. Have you ever felt like you work 24/7? You repeat all the affirmations. You put all your energy. You're chasing some promotions. You always think about what kind of business do you need to open to finally make money and feel happy at the same time. Well, that was me not too long ago until I discovered these two things that no one talks about, which is the universal authenticity law and my true soul purpose. Hey, I'm Jana. I'm a co founder of Quantum Manifestation Academy, where we help you to transform your life 180 and quantum leap into your desired timeline in the shortest possible time. Today, we will discuss your true soul purpose. What is your true soul purpose and why it's so important for every single person in this world to discover it? Because A, this is something that is going to make you rich and at the same time is going to make you happy, and it's something where you can always grow and there is no ceiling in your growth. But the most important aspect is when you truly uncover your soul purpose and when you implement it in your business, in something that you do, your life will become like forever vacation, to be honest. Even if you're gonna work some extra hours, even if you will need to do something on the weekends, like for example with us with our project, sometimes, not sometimes, 99.9 of the time we do something every single day, but we don't get tired. We don't get tired from it because the more we do it, the more we expend our energy, the more value we bring, and then, of course, the more money we attract. And one of the most essential feelings and the benefit, as I already mentioned, is internal feeling of happiness. When you don't feel like you need to look at your watch and wait when the day at your job is going to be over, or when you feel like you don't have to wait for Friday or Saturday or vacation to feel happy, or God forbid, you don't have the thoughts that only when I'm gonna retire, this is when I will start living my life. No, because your life is happening right now, and there is no such a thing as waiting for some day or some year to be happy. You either happy right now or you will never happy. So when we discover this soul purpose, our true calling, this is some kind of benefit that we get from the universe, forever benefit. And it also correlates with the authenticity law. We all were born with particular talents, values, and only when we show these talents and values to the world, only when we ground this energy and help other people, the universe 3D sends us more opportunities, better people, more money, more clients, and so on. But what usually happens with most of us everywhere, by the way, it doesn't matter where you come from, because this is the system, this is a matrix. When we're born, we think that there is some good jobs that will make us rich, and there are some jobs that will never make us rich. For example, but let me ask you this question. Have you ever seen a rich actor? Yes. Have you ever seen a rich singer? Yes. Have you ever seen a rich influencer? Yes. Have you ever seen a rich coffee shop owner? Yes. Have you ever seen a rich art dealer? Yes. Have you ever seen a rich whoever? Why? Because these people follow their calling. And it doesn't mean that only some kind of creative jobs could be your calling. No, this is not the case, because some of you might actually have a calling to be a doctor, for example, or a lawyer, or a banker, or anything. And you, in your particular case, you actually might become happy when you do this particular job. But what happens, once again, most of the time with most of the people, we think that we need to choose a job that is very serious, that will bring us a lot of money, because everything else, everything that we like, is not as serious. So we think that we're going to end up being broke on the streets with no money. And this is why we follow society rules. And this is exactly why, at certain point of life, we find ourselves being unhappy, waiting for a Friday or Saturday or vacation to finally feel happy and fulfilled. Or, God forbid, we literally counting hours to our retirement. And I personally think that this is really crazy and this is very horrible, because our life is so freaking short. Plus, when you feel like that, you will never able to make certain amount of money. Moreover, any corporation, once again, unless this is your actual calling. So none of the corporations can make you extremely wealthy. Unless your calling is to work somewhere in hedge fund, then probably yeah. But most of us don't want to work in a hedge fund, right? So today, I'm gonna tell you my story, and I think that it could help you if you apply it to your personal life. So when I was born being very, very active, very creative. I always had a lot of interest in psychology. Like, for example, by myself, like nobody told me to do so. When I was 10 years old or like 9 years old, I read Freud by myself. Nobody told me to do it. Then I was always interested in some kind of woo-woo things, universal law, quantum physics. And at the same time, I always had really, really great skills talking to people, great communication skills. I also was very creative. Like since the childhood, I was doing a lot of different things. Like I was painting, I was dancing, I was acting for many years before we moved to United States. When we lived in Russia, I think since 7 years old until like I turned 14 and a half, I was acting and I really, really enjoyed it. But what happened after? When we moved down here, the system, the metrics, unfortunately, or probably fortunately, like you never know why you need to go through some experience, brought me to corporation. But once again, which is very interesting, started from the very, very low position at the retail. Imagine working in retail in finance, but even there, my true soul calling was trying to get me out of that. So even though it's not particularly my job, but a lot of times I was organizing some events over there. Even though once again I was very new, and like usually people in that role would never do it. And I used to do a lot of workshops for people. I used to go to many events in general. This is how I met a lot of people. And every time at work, I was, I think, the only person who would like put the best outfit, take pictures. So basically, my true calling to show up, to help people, to talk to people, to be creative was visible even at that job, even though it's completely different from what I meant to do. So then during the years, I was getting promoted every single year. I always had a passion for business. Like for example, when I was born, since that times, I never ever thought that it's gonna be a point of my life where I'm not gonna have my business and I have to work somewhere else. But I guess once again, I needed to go through that experience as well. So I had a passion for business. And what I thought, and also because I had a few years of my life where I was very hypnotized by the metrics and the system. And then I thought that my goal is to work in business finance, in commercial banking, because A, you have more freedom, you make more money, and you work with high value business clients. So I was getting promotions every single year, thinking that this is that I found my purpose. And but then during all these years, at the same time, I tried different businesses. And the funny part, I never tried something like we do right now, even though it was always within me. And I've been in psychology, in self development, in the work with energy, meditations, helping people, acting, everything since I was born. Literally, my whole life experience was built around that. But because I was so hypnotized by everything, I had so many negative beliefs at some point that I thought that this is not as serious. So let me think about something else. So I tried drop shipping. I had a flower store with my friend. I had some other things and nothing worked. Why? Because it was never something that totally aligned with my soul calling. And then, even after I got promotion to business commercial finance, I remember thinking that, hmm, I'm very grateful. Like, this is amazing. This is a really good job. But I still don't feel complete. Like, yes, there's way more freedom, but it is the level of freedom that I actually want to. And plus, at that time, I already fully came back to everything that already was within me. and I already been meditating, doing a bunch of practices, and I also realized my dreams, like my goals, what I want from this life. And then I was thinking, and I'm like, okay, even if I get promoted 7 more times, I won't be able to afford me. I won't be able to afford my lifestyle. And moreover, I won't be able to truly show my sole purpose. So as soon as I make this internal decision that A, I'm very grateful for what I have and thank God that I have it, and also learn so much from people, from working there, and like in general, once again, like it's a really really good job. Like, don't take me wrong, it's not like I was miserable, but still it was not it. So as soon as I make this internal decision a few years ago, and this is when I used to live in New York. Right now I live in Miami, which was also totally manifested, and how things worked out is just crazy. So one day I wake up, and I think it was like a middle of the week, and I'm like, I need to go to Miami, out of nowhere, literally no plans, no vacation schedule, nothing. But I'm like, I need to be there ASAP. So what I do, I go and book the ticket the same day. The same day I booked the ticket, went to work, sent the email to my manager saying that I need to take this days off, and that's it. So a day after, I was already in Miami. Once again, no plans, nobody came with me, and I wouldn't even say that I had just as much money to spend on even staying in Miami with such a short notice that time. What happened after? By the way, I knew Mila from New York, and before the project, before we became so close to each other, we met at the different stages of our life. And every time we would get like some insights, but it's not like we were talking every single day. So I get to Miami, and then by somehow, either she texted me or I texted her on Instagram. Once again, was not planned, and we went out to eat. And then while we're talking, we realized how familiar we are right now in stages of our lives, and how many familiar things we want in life and what we want to bring to this world. And this is when we get our first business idea, and this is when we started our project, even though in the beginning it didn't look like this. Like, we grew with our project. Even if you look at our lessons that we recorded a year ago, I'm pretty sure you can already spot the difference. So we grew with you guys basically. But this is what I'm saying. Simply because that day, when I woke up in New York, when I had a really good job, I had my apartment, my whole life together, everything, no plans, nothing. But because I listened to my heart, because I followed my impulse, I ended up being in Miami, where Mila lived at that time. And this is how me and her met and started everything. And after we started our project, our lives changed so freaking much. It was literally transformation 180 in so many different aspects, because as you can see right now, I already live in Miami. We have you guys, we have our business, we have, I don't even know how many thousand followers we're gonna have at this point when this module will be published. But moreover, we finally found what we want to bring to this world. We finally both realized that we want to help people to transform their lives in the shortest amount of time. We want to bring value to this world. We want to show you how to live your life and be happy, be rich, be loved, look amazing, and how not to suffer by following all the matrix rules. So, what was the point of my story here? First, you can see where honestly, I don't even want to call those steps mistakes, because eventually I was able to uncover some things that I already had within myself. But for some period of time, I already knew inside what I want to do. I already had so much experience, once again, in psychology, coaching, transformation, helping people, creating workshops, acting, so many things. But I made a choice at that time not to pay attention to those things. I made a choice to follow this system. But the thing is, if right now, especially if you're here to increase your income, to create more wealth, to manifest more money, and you work at some kind of a job, which could probably be great, but you know that it's going to be some ceiling. A lot of times, that might not be your true purpose. That might not be your true calling. And this is why it will be very hard to grow there, because every single day you will be forcing yourself to do something that your soul doesn't like. So the practice that I will leave for you here will help you to uncover yourself. It's not going to help you to come up with some kind of super unique business idea, because this is not how it works. Because you can never become rich just from doing house flipping, Amazon, whatever, whatever, whatever. If it's not your true soul purpose, especially nowadays when energies of the universe, of the world have changed, and right now we are, if we want to be successful, if we want to be happy, if we want to have everything, we have to match that high frequency. And the only way how we can match that high frequency, when every day we operate from the identity which is authentic, which is in love with this life, with everything, which knows how to bring natural values that once again you already have. It's not like you have to go and create something new. You literally already have it within yourself. And one of the things that a lot of people might think is, oh my God, I spent so many years doing XYZ. How I can flip my life 180 right now? What if it's not gonna work? Okay, first of all, one of the best advices that somebody gave me once, long time ago, and every time when I have those thoughts in my head, I literally stop myself. So stop looking for guarantees, because the only thing that is guaranteed in our lives is that it's going to be a day when we all will die. And we never know when this day will come. Everything else, every single aspect doesn't have any guarantee. This was all created by matrix, by society, to control people. They make you think that if you have your corporate job, it's guaranteed. If you have your 401k, it's guaranteed. If you have something else, it's guaranteed, but it's not. Let's even go back to COVID times. Why even COVID happened on the universal level? Because the universe showed us that nothing is guaranteed. Like, how many people ended up being at their lowest point, but at the same time, eventually their highest point, because they were able to discover what they actually want, what they actually like. This practice, and this is actually so freaking amazing, because even if right now, let's say if you want to become an influencer or have your business, but you don't know what to do, this practice will help you to uncover what you already have within you. Because I'm pretty sure 100% that you already have all the qualities for you to become successful, for you to become rich, and for you to bring so much value to this world. If you want to get an instant access to this practice that will help you to find your true soul purpose and literally change your life 180, read the description under this video. Also, soon in QMA, we are launching a new module, Woman 2.0, where you will be able to transform your life, the way you look, the way you feel. You will be able to become magnetic as hell, improve your finances, find your true soul purpose, and so much more, just in 4 weeks. 4 weeks of daily work. And if you're watching this video, I know that you're ready. I know that. And you know that too. So, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.